Welcome to your training all about getting smoke show hot in your little black dress. I'm really excited to share this with you because you are going to find out how working out can be so satisfying, so exciting, and not as a punishment at all, but to really fulfill your desires. You have just three workouts: one for your chest, arms, some shoulders, and core, one for your glutes and legs, and then one for your back, your arms, your posterior shoulders, the back side of your shoulders, and your core. So, your chest, arm, and some shoulders and core workout is going to build the top of your hourglass figure so that your little black dress can really sit elegantly across your shoulders and your chest. The glute and leg workout is going to build the bottom of your hourglass figure, and then you're going to get the tapering effect up into your waistline. And then the back, arms, and your posterior core and shoulder workout is going to give the tapering effect down into your waistline. I have mastered this repertoire. I have been working out since I was 19 years old. I am currently 42. This workout has gotten me into the hourglass shape. So we don't have to be born with it. We can truly create it with how we are exercising particular muscle groups. Okay, there's some things that I want you to know. This is what you would hear from me if we were having a one-on-one session, and this is a lot of what you're going to hear from me in the instructional videos. Most of them are under a minute long, and I talk with you just like I'm talking right now so that you feel like I'm there coaching you in that moment. So we're going to go over a standard type of doing sets and reps. Then we're going to talk about drop sets, and then we're going to talk about strength sets and the reason why you would want to be doing those variations. And if you are in the group Fat Life container, bring your questions to the Friday call. You can also post in our group. If you are in a private Fat Life container, you could always drop a note to me in our Telegram channel. You can show up to the Friday group call. You know that's a bonus for being in a one-on-one container. Or of course, you can wait until we have our one-on-one call every other week. So let's jump in really quickly. So the standard is 4 sets. And this has worked really well for myself and my clients. And so, as a generalization, you're going to start with a light enough weight that you're going to get 15 to 20 reps, even 25 reps, if you want to get like a nice blood flow going. Set number 2, you're going to go a little bit heavier in your weight, and then you're going to try to hit 15 to 20 reps again. You're going to rest, and most of your rest periods are going to be about a minute. And if you work out with someone, you just take turns doing the exercise, and that's usually adequate rest. Set number 3, you're going to go a little bit heavier than what you did in set number 2, and then try to get out 12 to 15 reps. Tries to squeeze out 12 to 15 reps. And then set number 4, you're going to go heavier yet again, but on this set, you're going to try to get 10 to 12 reps. That's the generalization. And you are most likely going to stay with that standard rep range and going up in little increments to slowly have your repetition numbers go down. You're going to do that for a couple of months because there's a novice period where your body is taking in the stimulus as new, and it is going to slowly adapt to that stimulus. And so the thing about the bodybuilding is that you're going to be doing a lot of repetitive work. You're going to be doing a lot of the same exercises. I do the dumbbell chest press every single week, but how I vary it is with doing drop sets or going for strength. But I want you to keep in mind that when you're getting used to this, you're going to have a couple of months. You might even have a good 6 months where you don't have to make any variations because the stimulus is so new to your body that your body is changing to keep up with it. So I want you to keep that in mind. Muscle confusion, the most ridiculous word in the fitness vocabulary, comes from marketing. I spoke to one of the producers from Beachbody back in the day when I wanted to do Pilates Barbell Club as an online system, believe it or not. And then Chalene Johnson came out with her PiYo, and I was mortified. I was like, I was this close. Not really. My system was different. My point is, I spoke with a producer, and he said, you need to have your own vocabulary. That's what's going to sell. And then he used the example of muscle confusion with what program with Tony Horton or whatever his name is. He said, you need your own vocabulary. And muscle confusion is the biggest bullshit thing out there. You don't want to confuse your muscle. You want to have a strong mind-body connection. And the muscle confusion has made its way out of the Beachbody world into the entire fitness world, to where people, consumers, people like you, are thinking that they're supposed to change things all the time to keep their body guessing so it never has a plateau. It's bullshit. It's marketing. It's what was used to set that video series apart. So in bodybuilding, it's the repetition. It is the repetition that builds the body, and then making little variations and little tweaks within that repetition that is going to progress your body once it gets to a level of fitness. Think of it as a level of fitness, not a plateau. So if you are going to do a drop set, the drop set is usually done on your last set, where you're going to pick a weight where you can just like barely squeeze out 5 reps. You put the weight down as quickly as you can and grab the other one if you're doing dumbbells, or you take off, a plate off of a barbell as quickly as you can, or you change the pin as quickly as you can. The point is to keep your body moving within that set with no rest. So you pick a weight that's really going to struggle. I'm pretending I'm doing a lateral dumbbell lift where you can only get 5 reps. Then you drop the weight, pick up another one, try to get 5 reps again. As you go down in weight, your repetitions are going to increase, so that maybe by the time, so say like, a lot of times I do a drop set where I start with 25 pounds for a lateral dumbbell raise. I'm really strong. I've been doing it a long time. I know how to brace with my core. So I can get 5 reps with 25 pounds. Then I drop down to the 20, then to the 15, then to the 10. And then sometimes I drop down to a 5-pounder and then a 2.5-pound plate. And that 10 and 5 and 2.5-pound plate, I'm doing like 10, 15, 12 reps. I'm doing little partials to like really get the burn going. So it's a way for you to stimulate the muscle to really engorge it with blood. Blood is what heals your tissue so that it grows. And this is a really great thing to do if you want to see, like visually see your muscles all day long. Like if you're going to wear a tank top, you're like, hey, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to do my shoulder workout and I'm going to do drop sets and I'm going to get myself a really nice pump. It's also really great to use if you had just eaten a bunch of carbs or you are going to eat a bunch of carbs. So say you ate sushi the night before, or the day that you were going to do a shoulder workout, then, or any workout that you wanted to see muscle. Say you ate sushi the day before, right? You've got all this white rice, you got all this high glycemic carbs in your system, just stored in your muscles, ready to be used. So then if you do drop sets that day, you're gonna really see your muscles fill out. And it's just so incredible. A lot of women are afraid of this because they hear this and they say, I don't want to get bigger. You don't look bigger, you look more pronounced in these beautiful shapes of the muscles. The same idea of if you had a lot of food in your system, food in general is a really great way to utilize a strength set. So I use the sushi example because we're talking about high glycemic carbs. So carbs in drop sets really gives you the nice aesthetic pump. But say that you had a really big dinner, maybe it's the day after Thanksgiving. So you ate a huge meal and you probably ate all day on Thanksgiving. Well, then Friday, when you go work out, you could really work out hard because you have so much fuel. You have so much energy stored in your body, so you can really push yourself. It's also something that you can do if you are going to go eat a lot. So say you're going to go to brunch and you're like, I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to have mimosas. Alcohol opens up my appetite. I know I'm going to want to eat more. So perfect. I'm going to hit the gym and I'm going to work out heavy because I'm going to put that energy to use to grow my muscle. Because when we work heavy, it is so much stimulus and demand that you can have this like little play with what you're eating so that you can really maximize the potential to grow muscle. The more muscle you have, the denser your bones are, the higher your metabolism is, the slimmer you look. It's just a bonus effect. Now, you can also use this as an emotional, energetic thing. So if you're like really stressed and feeling high strung and like your screws and wheels are busting out of your brain because you're really focused at work and blah, 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 like that's a really great time to really push yourself in a drop set or push yourself with a heavier weight. Heavier weight is a really great thing to use when you're agitated, when you're irritated with something, because it's like you can put all of that to use. You can really use that anger and that irritation into action. And so, this is one of the other reasons why I love exercising so much, is because it is an emotional outlet. Anger, agitation, irritation, they are all signs that there is something in our soul that is ready to be birthed, or a place in our life that is out of alignment that we can grow through. So don't be afraid to have negative emotion. Go put them to work when you work out. And then remember, you are probably going to be able to do the standard workout for at least 6 months before you have to, quote unquote, worry about doing any type of changes. Okay. So you have this long term effect in the Fat Life container, so that you really get to know your body. Because my goal for you is that you are embodied in your desires and you have the tools to get you there. You could always stay for longer rounds of the Fat Life if you're doing the group 6 month, or if you're doing a year one-on-one, you could always repeat, right? But I just want to make sure that you know that you're equipped to handle things on your own if you don't continue for whatever reason. Okay, so when you're working out, this is what you want to feel and visualize. You want to have a burning or a thickening, a tightening, a heaviness, a deepening towards the bone sensation when you're working out. You really want to see how much of a mind-body connection you can make to that muscle that you're working. You want to be able to visualize the shape of your muscle. So a lot of times I think about my shoulder sleeves. Like if I'm doing a lateral raise, I love shoulders, by the way. So when I'm doing a lateral raise, I'm thinking about pushing my sleeves out to the side and really just feeling how that deltoid tapers down into a little diamond on the side of the arm. So it's like, how much can we really visualize? Okay, the bicep is kind of like a little change purse. The glutes are like two little peaches. You know what I mean? Like, really give yourself time to visualize the muscles, because that's what's really going to help you create the mind body connection that has such a big payoff down the road and right now. You want to be able to visualize the function of the muscle. So for the lat pull down, a lot of people think that you're supposed to have your shoulders down. Not necessarily, because your lat attaches onto the arm, onto the back, and then down into the lower part of your back. So when you shrug your shoulder and you pull the shoulder down and the elbow down, now you're actually using the whole shape of the latissimus dorsi. And that shape is what gives you a narrowing, tapering effect into your waistline. You want to feel hot because of those muscles. You want to feel confident in your body. When we feel confident in our body, that we're in control of it, that it's not attacking us, it's not betraying us, we feel internally hot. That is the smoke show hot. We are burning off everything that is not aligned with our soul. And that also means self-doubt. So this is going to really give you the opportunity to feel confident in your body, so that when you do wear sexy clothes, you feel like you can own them, like you can rock them, like you're going to walk into a room and own the room. Not in a way that's taken away from other women, but in a way where you feel empowered as yourself, not intimidated by what's going on in the room. You're going to do life more powerfully because you feel that powerful connection within your body. And you're going to look how you want to look. I want you to visualize how you want to look in your clothing because of these exercises. And I want you to lean in and out of positions to target the area you want to develop. And you'll hear me really put this into action with a glute variation, where we change the angle of the bench 3 times. Because when we change the angle of the bench 3 times, it's going to hit 3 different parts of your glute, make the peach. Okay. So you have deep and superficial core exercises. This is the secret sauce to having the hourglass shape, because we're using the internal muscles. So if you look down at the right corner of your screen, you're going to see where there's like white tissue that is showing the six pack, really. And then the red tissue is the transverse transverse abdominis. That is what pulls in the waist for the snatched look. That is what is used in Pilates. But we're really breathing super duper deep, even more deeply than you have in any type of Pilates class that you've done. When you look over to the left and you see that aerial view of the pelvis looking down, that's your pelvic floor. It's kind of like a trampoline. And so a lot of times, like I used to say the cue, pull your three holes up. Your pee hole, your vagina hole, and your anus hole. You want to pull those up into a cone shape right behind your belly button. I started to use pull your bathroom muscles up. So like if you have to hold your pee and your poo, driving, you're like, got to make it to the toilet. You pull up, right? You're pulling up. That's what you want to have when you exhale, when you're doing core exercises, the ones that I have here for you. Then on the right-hand corner, upper right-hand of the screen, you're going to see how we have the lung pressing down through the diaphragm. You have the red part, that's the deep core, and then you have the green, that's the pelvic floor. And so what we're doing is really pressurizing your abdomen so that the energy can transfer. The force of the weight can transfer into your body. Because I want you to take a look at your spine. Your spine is a bunch of little bones and joints. And when we work the core, one of the goals of working the core is that you stabilize the spine so it's acting like one long bone, like your forearm, not a whole bunch of little joints. So it's really important for us to know how to work the deep core because that's going to keep our back really healthy and help us sit up tall when we're working on our computers or when we're on our phone. So the cues that you're going to hear, there's this inhale of the widening. You feel that your pelvic floor gets flat like a disc. And then the exhale is there's a narrowing of the waist and the bathroom muscles are pulling up. So the breathing is very important to do the deep core to get the snatched effect. The superficial muscles, when you do the ab rope crunches, this is where we're going to get more of the six pack and more of the external obliques that are more visible underneath the skin. And so you'll find that you're going to add the breath to it. When I do the ab rope crunches, sometimes I inhale when I come up to extension and I exhale when I crunch down. And then sometimes I do the opposite. And so you'll really feel the difference in how these muscle fibers contract so that you can really create the shape that you want. You have a V shape coming down into your pubis where your pubic bone is, the very front here. This is your pubic symphysis. So your six pack attaches here. So when you exhale and you feel this narrowing effect, you're going to be able to get that low, low, low part of the belly that a lot of women are self-conscious of, the low belly pooch. That's really going to help you pull it in so that you have that support internally for your organs, but then also for your aesthetic. And these breathing cues, all the cues are on the voiceover for the video. I just wanted to get you excited and really have a deeper explanation of what it is that you're going to be doing. Okay, so here's the workout. You've got the QR code. You can type in the bit.ly link. And these playlists have a bunch of variations of the chest exercise, the arm exercise, the some shoulders, and the core. So that way you have a variety if you want to change things up. Like I am perfectly happy doing the incline dumbbell because I know how to vary things to like change the tempo or change the rep range. And that's all stuff that I can coach you through on our calls or in the group community or in your private Telegram with me. But my point is that you don't have to vary things with the equipment. Don't feel pressure that you have to keep changing things up. But the reason why it says some shoulders is because the posterior shoulder, the back of the shoulder, is always on back day because you're already working that range of motion and the backside of your body. So it makes sense to always hit the posterior shoulders on back day. So here you can see that we have side/lateral raise. It's the same thing, just a different word for it. We also have front raises, and then we have overhead press. So when you do your chest day, it's usually just referred to as the big muscle group. So when you do chest day, you know that you're going to do one of those three shoulder functions. Then the next week when you do chest day again, you're going to do a different function. Then the next time, you're going to do a different function. And then finally, the fourth workout, you're going to return to the one you started with. For your core, you're going to do just one of the deep core exercises and one of the superficial. I don't want you to be working out for more than 45 minutes. This should keep it pretty small, where you're doing 3 to 4 sets of your chest exercise, 3 to 4 sets of your one tricep variation, 3 to 4 sets of your one shoulder function, one set of the deep core. Now, the deep core is generally a 10 rep range. Whether you're doing the standing cable extension where you're working to stay vertical as you extend your arm, that really works the abdominals because you're having to stabilize an asymmetrical movement. So you get core workout without having to do sit-ups. The other exercise is a hip hinge with a rotation. You have 2 videos for this, one that's at the cable machine and then one that you are strapped in with a band around your hips attached to a piece of storage, like a storage device at the gym. And I go into great detail with that one. With the standing cable machine, there's a little less detail only because I don't want to repeat myself so much of what a video is really good. And the video that has the band with the storage equipment has graphics on it, so you can really get an understanding of these deep core muscles. So you're going to do just one of those. You're either going to do straightening your arm or you're going to do the hip hinge with the rotation. For your superficial, you're just going to do one set of the abdominal exercises where you're either doing the ab rope crunches facing out, where you're facing away from the equipment, where that's more of the deep core, or you're going to be facing in where it's more of the chunky 6-pack abs. In that one, you go heavier. The facing out, you go lighter to more deep core and snatching your waist. If you're facing the equipment, you're going to go heavier, and that's going to be more of the aesthetic 6-pack muscles. You can also have the option to do any type of the hanging ab exercises, and your grip is going to be the thing that is the most limiting for you. And so your goal is to get to 10 reps total. And so if you need to take breaks and stretch out your hands and dry them off, that's fine. Eventually, you're going to be able to do 10 in a row without having to change your grip. And then again, these all have voiceover so that you know exactly what to do. The next workout is your glutes and legs. And when you do this, if you work out 3 days a week, ideally it would be that you did the chest because that's upper body. Then you did the glutes and legs because that's lower body. Then you go back to the back because it's kind of considered upper body. And so that way you have enough time to recover your upper body and your upper body workout by sandwiching the glutes and the legs in between those two. So for your glutes, you have 3 variations of the seated abduction machine. I love the seated abduction machine because you can add stuff to it like yoga blocks, pads, bands, plates, so that you can hit a different part of your butt and the internal muscles that really help the butt have its lift. So watch those videos and you can try all of them and then do 2 sets of your favorite. You can try it without adding any props to it and do a set of those, or you can try one of all of them, right? And then only do 3 sets if you really wanted to. But the goal is that you're going to do some seated abduction every single workout. And then the cable kickbacks, like I said previously, there's positions that you put the incline bench into so that you can target the upper glute, midway through the glute, and the bottom of the glute. And so, like I said, on the visualization and what you want to feel when you're working out is like, you want to be able to leverage equipment. Like you want to use the equipment as a dance partner. You want to be one with the equipment so that you can really target the area of your body that you want. And then with the 3-position incline supported bench, you want to do one leg and then the other leg before you adjust the bench. So you can play with having the bench completely vertical and see what that feels like. Then put it at a halfway point and then put it all the way down. Or do a little variation within that so that you're always at an angle. And the goal is, where in your head, where do I want to feel this? What part of my butt do I want to work? And then that way you'll really feel what it is that you need. Now, with the legs, we're only focusing on 2 functional movement patterns because I do want you to be healthy long-term. I do want you to have really healthy hips, shoulders, and spine, but also you're here because you want to be smoke show hot. So we're only focusing on squats and hinges. So on your squat day, you've got videos for all different variations of squats. You're going to warm them up with leg extensions where you sit on the machine and you kick your legs up, because the way the quadriceps are attached to your hip, they really facilitate the squat motion. On your hinge day, otherwise known as deadlift day, you're going to warm up with hamstring curls, the exercise that you're either laying down or you're seated, because the hamstring is more dominant than the quad on hinges. So it makes sense that that's why we would do those muscle groups. Because again, I don't want you to be working out for hours and hours. The cable kickbacks are going to take a long time because you only do one leg at a time. You don't have abs in here for two reasons. Number one, I don't want you working out for more than 45 minutes to an hour. And then number two, you're going to feel your core because your core has to fire to stabilize your body when you're doing this. So you're getting core work no matter what. You have variations for videos. Your glutes, you're doing 4 sets total, ideally. Your cable kickbacks, you're just doing 1 set in each position on each cheek. Your legs, whether it's a squat or whether it's a deadlift / hinge pattern, you're doing 4 sets of those. Remember the standard rep ranges. And then you're doing your leg extensions on your squat day, your leg curls on your hinge and deadlift day. And again, you have voiceover instructions. And also in the playlist, the description of the playlist has the same thing. It says what weights, what you should be looking to feel in set 1, set 2, set 3, set 4. And I give you a reminder of what you're going to be picking within that workout. For your back day, you're going to do lat pull down and face pulls. So you're pulling this cord apart, and a pull through. You can do the face pull and the pull through as a superset. Whenever we do a superset and there's minimal rest, you break the muscle fiber down more to cause a bigger muscle growth because of the damage that you're doing. And the healing process is muscle growth. I don't do supersets for everything because I want you to take this time to get in your body. The superset is there for a very specific reason, for a very specific outcome. So don't feel like you need to rush and do supersets on other exercises. The superset just means that you do one exercise right after the other, and then you take a break. If you're feeling tired, you can always separate them to where you're only doing the face pull and then you complete 4 sets and then you only do the pull through. That's totally fine. And I make that variation for myself. Then you're going to do a low back row. The low back row, I really love. It looks like you're doing it wrong because you're going to let your back go round. And we've heard so much that in the gym, we have to keep our back straight. But like you saw in the slide about the deep core, your spine are little tiny bones and little tiny discs that make up little joints just like your fingers. So when you do the low back row and you allow your back to round and then you pull it back into alignment to where it is straight, you're working all these muscles along the spine and then a lot of sexy muscles that are more visible underneath the skin. And that one, I really want you to play with the leverage of the equipment so that you can really feel the tension, the tightness, the burning, the fatigue, the heaviness build up, especially in your low back, because that's what's really going to strengthen it and give it that tapered effect. Your posterior shoulders, you have 3 variations to do this. This is a posterior shoulder movement. It's very simple, but you can do it in all different ways. Seated, standing, chest supported, upside down on your nose. No, I don't know. But you have a bunch of variations that are within the playlist that you can select. And then again, you've got your deep core and you've got your superficial ab muscles. So again, you're going to pick just one of the deep core. You're going to do 10 reps. So that means if you're doing the straight arm press, you're probably going to be able to do 10 reps. When you do the twist, the hinge with the twist, you might just do 5 on each side to get to 10 total. Whatever floats your boat, just try to get to 10 somewhere. And then the superficial, again, you can do the ab rope crunches and you can do the hanging exercises. All you're going to do, like you could do your favorite thing every single time, or like work on the technique of one of those exercises. And then when you get bored, then you can switch, or you can switch every single time that you do your workout so that you have everything varying each time that you exercise. So That is your presentation for your workout. I'm so excited. Working out is my favorite thing to do. I love it for so many reasons. And I really hope that you feel my excitement and that you are starting to feel some excitement to go to the gym also. Working out is not about punishing yourself at all. It is your me time. And it is such a great way for you to connect with your emotions and ground your energy to manifest whatever it is that you want. All right. I'll see you later.